你好，欢迎回来，Happy News, etc. 我叫 CJ. Welcome back. Thanks for being here. We're going to pick back up where we left off yesterday with learning Mandarin, teacher talk.
Hello everyone, I'm Yan.
Hello, Yan.
I'm Chris.
Hey, Chris.
In this teacher talk, we're talking about 统称, a tiny language habit in Chinese that seems harmless but might cause some misunderstanding for our learners.
Yeah, this is one of those things that becomes a problem when you're trying to translate between languages. If you do a direct translation, doesn't totally match the things that people would normally say in English.
You could think of it as a general or collective term that refers to a whole group of things instead of something very specific. And yeah, let me give you an example. A great example is the Chinese zodiac. So in English, you will separate goat, sheep, and ram, but in Chinese, we will just say yang. Yeah, so one word for all of them. If you were born in the year of sheep or goat or ram, well, then you're all yang.
Yeah, so 统称 is a broad category word, and they get used all the time in Chinese. Chinese people are just comfortable with the ambiguity. So English has some of these words like meat to describe, all the different animals that we eat instead of specifically saying beef, pork, chicken every time. But I think it's more of a matter of the frequency with which these types of words are used in Chinese.
I think in everyday Chinese communication, 统称 is a big part of it. And these will usually be some everyday things like you mentioned meat, could be some items or concept that often appear in our daily life. So yeah, we can give you some common example of 统称 you will hear. And don't worry if you don't know this word yet, you will learn all of them in our later lessons. So the first one is what Chris have mentioned, 肉. So it's meat in English, and it could mean pork, beef, chicken, and whatever meat that's on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one is 衣服. It means clothes, and any kind of clothes, basically just anything you wear.
衣服.
And another good one is 饮料, meaning drink or beverage. That's anything that's not water and not alcohol is 饮料. And then my favorite, 外国, which means foreign country and is used to refer to the entire world that isn't China. And I think that this phrase can make you incredibly frustrated when people are like, hey, can you speak 外国语? Can you speak foreign country language? It's a collective noun to mean any language that isn't Chinese. And it can sometimes feel like Chinese people are a little bit picking on you, like you're a foreigner, I'm Chinese, right? But this is just one of the many like collective nouns that gets used in Chinese. So if you're feeling upset, just remember it's not all about you. It's just how Chinese works.
Yeah, don't take it personal. We just love 统称 so much that we forget there are almost 200 countries in the world.
Yeah, and so what this does is it makes everything really context-based. What is the person holding in their hand? What do they have in their bowl? When they're saying meat or drink, what is someone offering you? Yeah, so it's based on the context of what you are experiencing in that moment.
Yeah, to get a feel for this, maybe we could walk through a few real-life scenarios together.
Yeah, so I think the first one to imagine could be to do with clothing. So let's say your coworker comes in, has a great new jacket. In English, I'd be inclined to say, wow, your jacket looks nice. Your jacket looks great. But in Chinese, people usually don't say this exact item. Instead, they would just use this general word, right?
Yeah. We'll just say, your clothes look nice. 你的衣服很好看. And 衣服 here could be literally anything that they are wearing. It could be a jacket, it could be a hoodie, it could be a shirt, it could be a cosplay armor. You don't have to specify it.
I think what's really interesting about this is as a beginning Chinese language learner, you feel like I'm saying 衣服 because I don't know any other words. And then you learn more words for sweater and cosplay armor.
And you still say 衣服.
And then you realize that actually Chinese people don't use these specific words and that 衣服 was perfect this whole time.
Yeah, maybe when you're at HSK 1, you'll say 衣服, and then from HSK 2 to 5, you'll say something else, and the HSK 6, you'll go back to 衣服. Yeah. And another situation is, if you're feeling thirsty, in English, you might say, I want something to drink, or I want to drink something. But in Chinese, people often say, I want to drink a beverage. 我想喝饮料.
Yeah, and as I said before, this covers everything. That's not water, not alcohol. I'd say if you translate it back to English, it'd be like, I need a drink. But that sounds like, you want a beer. This is specifically not alcohol. And people really say it all the time. Or, you're at a party and people are like, drink some beverage. And they're holding a Sprite in their hand, right? And so we know that it is Sprite, but they say 饮料.
So what's in the 7-Eleven fridge? That's not water, that's not alcohol, then that's a 饮料.
And I think another place that it seems like the scope of these, collective nouns is much bigger than what it would be in English would be the word bread. 面包. And this can refer to nearly anything that is something like bread.
So imagine you walk into a bakery and then you point at something you want to buy and then you ask for the price. In English, you probably specify what type of bread it is. So you'll say something like, how much is the sausage roll? How much is the croissant? Chinese people commonly just refer it as 面包. So it would be 这个面包多少钱? How much is the bread? When I'm holding a sausage roll,
you have to hold it.
Yes, and if you are an American who does not know what a sausage roll is, it's like a hot dog inside of a pastry. For our British friends, I'm sure you are very aware, and European listeners.
So you don't have sausage roll in America?
Maybe in a Chinese bakery. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. I mean, I'm constantly confronted with people saying like, hey, do you want some bread? And they're holding, some prepackaged, I don't know, something that's like a little cake or something like that, something that seems terribly unhealthy and like, eat some bread. And I'm like, where is the bread? This is not bread. This is, maybe some kind of dessert or something. But yeah, the word bread is another one of these things that's just like, it's a huge circle about nearly everything that's baked and isn't a cake.
That's a great conclusion. I think as long as it's bread-ish, then 面包, the word 面包 works.
Yeah.
Now you know and you've seen how Chinese love using general words. And once you start noticing 统称 everywhere, you'll realize Chinese isn't fake. It's just efficient.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll realize that too.
You'll master it anyway. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
But it's more than just drinks. Okay. I thought I enjoyed the explanation about clothes. 衣服. Apply cosplay armor. Right, next episode.
Hello, everyone. I'm Yan.
And I'm Chris.
In this teacher talk, we will take a look at some of the weirdest food in China and some food that might surprise or even shock you.
Yeah, when I was a student, I was aware that people were going to try to surprise and shock me, and I tried to eat everything with a straight face and say, no problem. But one thing that even surprised me was when I encountered something called yang xiezi, which is lamb spine hot pot. But the Chinese name, yang xiezi, is literally lamb scorpion. And I just thought, is this lamb or is this scorpion? And I actually went into the restaurant and I said, hey, is there scorpion in this hot pot or are we just eating lamb here? And she said, oh, no, it's just lamb. Don't worry. And, that actually has not one of the wild things of China, I would say. It's relatively tame. It's just lamb meat like you'd eat on lamb ribs. Just happens to be around the spine. But scary name.
Because the spine kind of look like scorpion when it's cooked, so it's named lamb scorpion. I know the name of the food might sound a bit wild, but in Chinese culture, food isn't just about eating and nutrition or to keep you alive. It's about it's a big part of our culture. Yeah, of our culture, of our identity, of our heritage. And yeah, even if something sounds strange to you, we all hope that you could look at it with curiosity and an open mind.
Yes, and so we're going to cover a couple things. The first one, my apologies to the vegetarians, but is about how in China, every part of the animal is going to be consumed. Nothing goes to waste. Hot pot specifically is where it all comes out. A lot of innards are used as hot pot ingredients.
Using animal parts is common in many regional cuisines across China. So you'll find this type of dishes not only in hot pot places, of course, and also in a lot of regular restaurants all over China, like chicken feet, pig ears, duck heads, everything you can name, it might just be on the menu.
Yeah, it seems like most places have taboos. Is anything taboo in China?
Nowadays, a lot of young people in China do avoid animal skins to stay healthy or just keep in shape. Yeah. And this question reminds me of a story. So, one time when I was traveling with my friends to a small village in China, and then we had some local chicken dishes. And yeah, we barely touched the chicken skin. And the owner thought that we were following some kind of like new religious rule that you cannot eat chicken skins.
Yeah, I mean, the global health craze has definitely hit China's young people for sure. But yeah, generally everything's on the table, both literally and figuratively.
True.
Yeah, that brings us to the second one. Foods that smell or look rotten, but they aren't. The main one here is stinky tofu. You will see this everywhere. I believe Changsha is the place that's most famous in Hunan province for stinky tofu. But,
yes,
these vendors on the street have spread out from Changsha to every street corner across China.
Yes, every touristy area, from Changsha to every touristy area in China. Yeah, and you could just smell the stinky tofu from a block away. And you know what? It has a cousin named hairy tofu. Literally, the tofu that grows white hair like mold. But don't worry, because it's aged on purpose and has a very unique flavor. Usually it's pan-fried and eaten with chili sauce. Yeah, it looks kind of scary, but apparently it tastes pretty good and is supposed to be healthy as well.
Is better than stinky tofu, for sure. Yes, I can attest. I had it in Anhui province. Sounds like maybe you haven't tried it.
Yeah, I haven't tried it.
But yeah, another one that gets a lot of reactions are the century egg, which isn't 1,000 years old. It's more like 2 or 3 weeks old, probably, but it is preserved, hard boiled in a very basic substance like ash or some kind of other base heavy chemical, and then wrapped in leaves or sometimes buried underground, and it turns the egg whites into egg blacks, and it becomes becomes very dark and very jelly like. It looks just like, hey, this is the opposite of what a hard boiled egg should look like, so there's probably something wrong with it the first time you see it.
I know that a lot of foreigners have a hard time with century eggs at first, but it's a favorite for many of us, and we use it in all kind of dishes, from Cantonese cuisine, Sichuan cuisine, like everything you could think of.
Yeah, and for this one, I have to admit, I don't like it when it just comes out on a plate and you're just eating big chunks of it, but when it's mixed with stuff, when it's mixed with some chilies, it's make a sauce with eggplant. It's pretty good. I mean, I think it's pretty nice.
Yeah, hating century eggs is just a phase. You'll get over it.
Yeah.
And there is one thing that even a lot of Chinese struggle with is a Beijing specialty named 豆汁, the sour muck bean juice. And some said it looks like dirty gray dish water and it smells like gym socks. But still, a lot of tourists want to try it when they visited Beijing. And yeah, I remember that when my parents first visited Beijing, I told them they have to try 豆汁, the bean juice. And honestly, I just want them to experience how not tasty it is. Yeah, since a lot of tourists just tried for the challenge. But my parents thought it was something like really delicious and end up buying like 4 or 5 bottles. And I feel bad for them.
Oh, wow. I mean, I've tried it once too, and I can attest it is terrible. I mean, I'm usually pretty open-minded, but this one was rough.
I've tried one sip and then I give up the whole cup.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of Beijing, there's a place called Wangfujing, and that brings us to another interesting group of things that are eaten. Wangfujing, it's, a shopping area, but there's this one little strip where they are cooking all the different kinds of bugs, just frying them up and selling them to tourists. A lot of tourists from outside of China come there. A lot of people from China, other parts come there. I don't think anyone in Beijing is actually eating these bugs at all outside of, tricking tourists into eating them. But when you go outside of major cities, bugs on the menu, right?
Yeah, it's not just in Wangfujing or Beijing. I think you could find insects in many touristy areas. And I think a lot of people, and also me, myself, I try them out of curiosity. I remember that the first time I had bug barbecue, the texture really shocked me and it traumatized me, to be honest. Yeah, but some people really enjoy them. And the bug snacks, like the bug BBQ, are actually considered great snacks to pair with beer.
Yeah, I had a college roommate who made me try fried crickets. And I thought, they kind of taste like potato chips.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But yeah, this reminds me of one kind of unbelievable experience I had in Yunnan, in the southwest of China, in a minority area where bugs were served quite a bit more. And we were eating with a family that we were staying with, and they prepared for us some chicken dish, some rice, some okra, and then the last thing that came out was a plate of bees.
Oh, fried bees.
Fried bees, yeah. And I just thought, I can't do this. What if it stings my tongue? The venom must still be in there
already.
But what if it just lines up the right way and just goes ding, ding, ding. And I couldn't bring myself to do it. But then our host said, hey, I'm sorry, I don't know if you guys eat okra. And we all just looked at each other and we're just like, yeah, it's the bees we don't eat. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe she just had a great sense of humor and was playing a big prank on us. But it just seemed incredible to me that that's what she was worried about.
Yeah, sir, I thought you don't eat rice. Let me put that away. You can have the fried bees.
Yeah, just give me the bees, please. Yeah, so I think in conclusion of the many foods we've covered today, people will assume that you don't eat things. And if you are willing to try, I think 2 things. You're going to be pleasantly surprised about most things because China's very serious about their food and everything is delicious. And 2, you're going to really impress people.
Yeah, and of course, if you really can handle it, like if you really can eat fried bees if you really can't drink 豆汁, that's completely okay because even some Chinese people can't.
Yeah, but do try lamb spine. Whenever you get to China, have a nice lamb spine hot pot. I guarantee it, 100% you're going to love lamb spine.
Yes, especially in winter's day. Just imagine how it will warm your whole body and your soul from the head to the toes.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's over 100 degrees today, and I mean, I wouldn't mind going for a lamb spine hot pot right now.
Yeah, let's get some right now, and we'll see you in the next teacher talk. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This is something when I was watching a video, I want to say yesterday or 2 days ago, and it was going through the, let me see if I can pull it up, like the daily life of this YouTuber, and I thought it was pretty interesting because one of the things that they mentioned was that you can't go outside during the summer, that it's so hot that you can't go outside. Which is, it sounds a little bit like South Florida, but they said today it was 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is that's exceptionally hot. I'm curious if you're watching this video and you've been to China, or maybe you've been to some other places in Asia. I've visited Phuket and parts of Thailand and Singapore. I haven't been to China yet, but I think the cuisine is definitely one of the most interesting aspects of traveling to these countries. And I've tried insects before. I've never had bees. I've never had the dark egg that they were talking about. Anyway, I'm interested in all that stuff. So that's it for today. Thanks for being here. We're gonna pick back up tomorrow with a review. And have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for being here. If you press the like button or subscribe, then you could see more of these videos as it develops. And I hope you have a nice day. Find some time to smile. Say something nice to someone today. Cheers. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. 再见.